to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When the client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Man, folks out there, welcome to the Big Boneyard. And we deserve some applause today for out there. How you call it? Hydrogliding, aqua riding. Damn, I still got on my rain gear, man. Woo! Look, South Florida ain't no joke. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So how you doing, man?
Yeah, the weekend was nice, but that rain wasn't.
I'm trying to tell you.
I hit the rain coming down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the rain coming up.
Yep.
Not as much as you did, because I went a different route. It was still over there on that side. I came up the other way. So
I was backstroke. No, okay, same difference. Going south, a little bit here, a little bit there. Temperatures, they're all like that. Not too much fun, but on the way back, oh man, I got that ass beat. Whoever said it don't rain on outlaws, I think they might have lied. They actually might have lied about that. And what's up, Carol Ann? See Carol Ann, Enid, Dagon, Phenom, Diosa. Okay, oh man, hey, look, what's up, folks? It's good to see y'all. But yeah, man. So if y'all don't mind, we're gonna do a little bit of house cleaning. We like to do our disclaimer. We wasn't here last week, so we ain't too rusty, but we want y'all to understand we're going to talk about a lot of different things as per always. But our opinions, if Archbishop says it, if I say it, guess what? That's just our opinions. That's coming from us, not any organization. We're not representing any other organization. These are simply our opinions only. So we wanted to always make that clear. What's up, Big Red? Doggone Backbones, all right. And Derek Washington, OG Weasel. Okay, all right. There's folks up in here. Okay, that's what's up. But yeah, so anyway, disclaimer, our opinions, there's like that. And also, I was going to ask you, man, actually I was going to ask you about something else too. So all that riding that we did this weekend, are you ever heard of these different little groups, these ground pounder clubs or any of that? Like to see who got the most miles in a certain period of time. You ever did any of that stuff?
Yeah. Back in the 99 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because I'll tell you why. I ran into a dude actually at a gas station, 99 Club, and he actually asked me. He says, "Well, how many miles you hit this year?" And I had to stop there, because that's what they was talking about. And I'm like, man, my math ain't that. I don't think I can count that high because we on some other shit, man. We on some other shit. It's like sometimes I feel like my motorcycle hates me because of the abuse that I be giving that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, that's why I had to trade my other one and get a new one.
Yeah. Oh,
that sucker took a beating, bro.
Yeah, look, your iron is nice. It's nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it took a beating, but she held it down. I wasn't never sitting on the road. Tell you that. I wasn't never sitting on the side of the road.
Now I did. What was that? Week 4 last. Blew that tire up in Live Oak, wherever the hell that is. And some great brothers from up that way. Just, man, look, fuck AAA. If you got good brothers, you don't need AAA. I'll say it like that. But yeah, they showed big love and got me squared away, all that. But I'll tell you, so tonight is, matter of fact, let me do a couple little catch up. So y'all know I was doing all this running back and forth to Tallahassee. Working on those insurance related bills. Unfortunately, the bills passed, but there's going to be some amendments and some changes to those bills. It's certainly not anywhere near like we want. Insurance companies are still straight fucking us over, thanks to that nice governor, Ron DeSantis. just straight putting dick to everybody. But anyway, what else is new? But there's also a bill 709, which is moving through the House and the Senate, and that's for motorcycle safety and awareness. And it looks like there's good bipartisan support for that. There's a group called ABATE, which a number of us are members of that. If ABATE, the last time ABATE got funded with this money from this senatorial fund was the first time and the last time that motorcycle deaths and injuries dropped dramatically in the state of Florida. Since then, DMV, figured out a way to steal the money, and they're not doing anything with it. They just took it, put it in their general fund, and said, "Oh yeah, we're all about motorcycle safety and awareness." They ain't done nothing, but so of course it's them just stealing the money. Anyway, hopefully that money. This next go around during this next session will go back to a proper organization who's actually going to do something with it and help folks, help bikers through a lot of through on the ground grassroots program, reaching out to folks, motorcycle training, awareness. And it's not just about the bikers. Bikers know what, because we're the ones on the bike. It's letting those people in them cages and them trucks, teaching them how motorcycles move, to be aware of motorcycles and to stop killing us, so that kind of stuff, But anyway, so that's some of the stuff we've been working on. But my main man, Archbishop, let me tell you, he's been working on some stuff too. And this is stuff, we've been working on educating bikers about all kinds of different stuff, both protocol, history, and all like that. We've talked about human trafficking. We've talked about the politics, like what the insurance companies are trying to do to you and everything like that. But I'll read this and then let Archbishop break it down for you. So if you read the description of tonight's show, it says, if you're like most of us bikers, you're always thinking about the next new, shiny, inexpensive thing that you're going to do or add to your motorcycle. Hell, I mean, you might even be thinking about buying a brand new scoop. So it's always a good time to upgrade, right? I mean, if you want to upgrade your iron, perfect time to do it is whenever the hell you feel like doing it. But anyway, well, what if you go to the dealership and they tell you that the cash that you try to give them is worthless? Don't want it, don't need it, ain't worth a damn, right? And they said that they're only interested, say, in digital currency. They only want digital currency now. And they said, well, we want digital currency because of Russia, blah, blah, blah. And then China did something and blah, blah, blah. Well, what the fuck is going on? Right? What the fuck is going on? So you better find out now before it's too late. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you ain't been paying attention, now's the time to plug in. Archbishop, help the folks. So what is the synopsis in the first of all, the snapshot version of what the hell is going on for those folks that don't know about the China and the Russia and Uganda and Kenya and all like that?
Well, first let me start up saying, what up though? I ain't get to say it when we first started. What up though? Had to get it out. Had to get it out for my Detroit peeps, Midwest peeps. Y'all know what it is. Right on. All right. So, okay. So here's the deal. Now, for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about different stuff that's been going on and how they've been passing bills and stuff like that. It kind of slipped through the cracks, and then they like the news and everything mainstream kind of focus on one thing, and then while this one thing is going on, then the other things is just sliding through. You don't know anything about it. Okay, so like a couple weeks ago, we had a situation where where they had a bank that was over in California that actually collapsed, right?
Right.
And people lost millions and millions of dollars off of that. Okay, so dealing with that though, you think that dealing with a bank and you putting that amount of money in the bank, that the FDIC is going to be the ones that's going to jump in and basically secure that money. That's not true. They only secure a certain amount. So so let's say for instance that you lost $1 million. FDIC is only going to give you 200,000 out that $1 million. So you just lost $800,000. You know what I mean? And you're not getting it back. Okay. But we got other stuff that's going on right now to where you have these other countries like Russia, China, and they've been reaching out to Brazil, Iran, Saudi Arabia, South Africa,
Yeah, Kenya.
yeah, and trying to get them to basically not use the US dollar, basically de-dollarizing these nations to where the US dollar is not the global cap around the world anymore.
Right.
So when you have that de-dollarization, what we're going to talk about today is what happens. What happens if this actually takes place? If it takes place on a more larger scale than just these little couple countries right here, what's actually going to take place and how that affects you? Because it's really going to affect you.
Right. So what I heard you say is China's trying to keep me from buying that new Harley. Well, no, but it seems like, so my take on it was the number one question that a lot of folks asked me about was, well, why is that? Why is that? And this one, what does Trump say? The people he loves so good, the poorly educated, one poorly educated individual went and she said, well, I told y'all about Biden. Guess what? Biden had nothing to do with this. Just, I'm not swinging left or right on this. This is something bigger than that. And it actually started a number of years ago when, these folks so first of all, most of these countries that we're talking about have been hating on America. That's nothing new. They especially hated on America after certain somebody a few years ago called one group of folks shithole countries and threw a ban on some other ones and did some other things. And these folks, they decided then now's the time to go ahead and do this, just so you know, like from whence it came. But if you're an enemy of America, what better way than to attack your enemy than to destabilize their fiduciary system? So they're going after the money, y'all. They're going after the money. So if our dollar is worth nothing, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. So I guess to break it down, so what does it look like if the dollar is destabilized? If, let's say, all of these countries say, yep, that's what we're going to do, and they do it, and every country that's in this, I call it a scheme, that's in this scheme or in this plan, if every one of those countries actually executes their plan to destabilize the American dollar, what does that look like here in the country, Archbishop?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna answer that question, but let me go back a second.
Okay.
So because if I go back a little bit and give you a little bit of history and bring it up to that,
right on,
puts a little bit more understanding. Now, back when you had World War I and World War II, this is when the U.S. actually became, global to the point that the currency was out because you had a war going on, and at that particular time, the U.S. wasn't even involved in the war, but what they was doing, they were supplying weapons, ammunition, stuff like that, just like they do in Ukraine right now. Right. They were supplying. They was out of it, but they were using their money. They was using that as a way to put their money out there. Okay, so then after World War II, then they were able, being the fact that we won the war, then they were able to make in these contracts and resolutions, they was able to put it out to where the dollar was like the global exchange. Okay, and at that particular time, the U.S. dollar was backed on gold.
Okay.
Now when Richard Nixon came into office in 1971, he took the U.S. dollar off of the gold standard. So at that point, the dollar wasn't backed by anything. So as of now, the only thing that the U.S. dollar is backed on is oil. Two things: oil and you. Yep. That's why you have a social security number. That's why you have, look at your birth certificate, you got that little number on the bottom of it because you are actually collateral onto the dollar. I mean, so if they ever come into a default to where these countries be like, okay, you know what? I don't even want your money. I just want what you owe me.
Wow.
What are they taking? Your ass. Because you, sir, are collateral. So now back to your question. What happens if that dollar falls? Then basically everything Now it can fall in all these other countries. Now you still going to be able to use it here, but you're going to have it's going to be significantly higher. Okay, so
Right.
if you making say your bike payment is $400, okay, it may be $400, but you just handing somebody $400 is not going to be the same because that paper is going to be useless. It's going to be worth pennies as opposed
Right.
to what it's worth now. You know what I mean? So you're going to be paying way higher inflationary costs on that. You go into this, and that goes for everything. That goes for just regular stuff in the store, commodities, food.
Yeah.
I mean, you go get a case of 12 waters in a pack, and you're gonna pay $25 for it because everything is gonna shoot up because your dollar is not worth nothing. And you even have places here in the U.S. right now that will not accept cash payment. They actually have national parks that you can go to, that's been reported that they went to national parks in the U.S. and they will not accept the dollar. They'll take a card, but
Right.
they will not accept your money.
So years ago, there was this trend that was really disturbing to me, and the trend hasn't really stopped. It slowed down a little bit, but it hadn't stopped. And here's what it is. The issue is that in California, at one point in California, which is it's a blue state, and about 4 or 5 red states throughout the country, the Chinese companies, i.e., China, owned more real estate than Americans did, and they brought up a huge. If y'all remember the housing boom from about what was that about 12 or 15 years ago, where there was the mortgages, people were getting these balloon payments. All of a sudden, they were buying these houses left, right, and sideways, and then the balloon payments came in. All these people defaulted on the loans, and those properties went back to the management companies or the mortgage companies. Well, those mortgage companies that took back all of those properties, many of them were owned by China. So not only do we see a destabilization of the American dollar, but we also see, if you think about it, a grand scheme to make sure that, hey, when, like you just said, when they call in that note, who's getting whatever, who's getting the property, who's getting that bike, who's getting that condo, who's getting that car, who's getting that beachfront property that or so many other things, who's getting that business. A lot of times, unfortunately, it's not an American or American company or somebody that you're going to be able to work with, because they know they don't want your money. They do not want your money. They want you. And the way that things have been going for the past 15 to 20 years, they're going to get it. They're going to get it unless, and we're going to talk about solutions here in a little bit, but unless we make some changes, smarten up on a lot of things. And this is folks that get paid a lot more money than we do to talk about this stuff and figure it out. But there are definitely some adjustments that need to happen. And those adjustments, I'll say one thing I'll tell you right now is we as Americans have got to quit getting at each other's throats, because you got these one guys, oh, those libtarded so-and-so, those lefties this, and you got the people on the left saying, oh, those evil sons of guns on the right. Guess what? Over the past month and a half that I've spent 3-4 days a week, every week in the Capitol, talking to senators and congressmen and these guys from the House of Reps and those guys from such and such and that guy who's head of that committee. The thing I figured out is on TV, when these guys are at each other's throats and all like that and cussing each other out and getting their people, their base, the voters riled up to go at one another, behind closed doors, it's just like WWF wrestling, where they're all buddy high-fiving each other, talking about how much they got their people riled up and how much in there. And guess what? They're friends, they're hanging out, they're having drinks together and all of that. They're one guy's the bad guy, one guy's the good guy, depending on who the hell the voters are. And so Democrats, Republicans, guess what? They're two wings of the same freaking bird. Once we figure that out and stop letting these folks play us and demand that our representatives that we elect, those elected officials, once we tell them to do their damn job and stop getting paid under the table to do whatever the companies want, then we'll be all right. That's big picture stuff. But it's the kind of stuff that we as Americans can, if we can get that through our head, we might be all right. But in the meantime, like Archbishop just said, man, we got some problems afoot.
See, but here's the biggest problem though.
Mhm.
Now, just like you was just saying, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what you said, and you was talking about the that like usually like when something goes on, whoever's in office, that's who gets the blame. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think both Republican and Democrats, you got people in both of them that are equally fucked up.
Mhm.
Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
Now,
Facts.
you know, Biden done some crazy shit. Trump done some crazy shit.
Mhm.
But they've all done crazy shit. But here's the thing. They know what's about to go down. They already know what's about to go down. So what are they doing? They're protecting their own ass. They making sure that their access is on point to where, you know, they ain't gonna end up in the poorhouse.
Right. Facts.
But they
Facts.
know that about 50% of the general population is not really going to pay attention to what's going on. Okay, so let me give you an example as to how crazy this stuff is, and how you can be easily manipulated into doing this, and it's just like what they wanted you to do in the first place. Okay, so once they put out that certain things go on, when they first did COVID and they did the shelter, and that everybody had to stay home unless you was, everybody had to stay home.
Yeah, first
Mask
responders,
mandate,
everybody
stay at home. If you wasn't a first responder, or you was important doing construction or whatever, then you had to stay in the house.
Right.
Okay, so people did it, no problem, and they was like, okay, well, you stay in the house, we're gonna give you, a certain amount of extra money on your unemployment, but just stay in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What were they doing? They were training you so that way if something else ever come in and they told your ass to stay in the house, you're not going to question it. You're just going to do it. You see what I mean? Okay, now think about this on this banking scale. Okay, the dollar goes to shit to where the paper dollar means absolutely nothing. It ain't worth the money. I mean, it ain't worth what it was printed on.
Right.
It's worthless. Okay, so what do? Then they go through and they centralize the banking and they make it digital, right? So then you have a card. Okay, you don't have cash money no more. Now you have this card. Now, but they're going to let a period of time go by where your dollar isn't worth anything, because you're going to have to realize you're going to have to suffer a little bit. You know what I mean? So we're going to let you suffer a little bit. And you're going to have to be making, you're going to be making quadruple payments or making payments 10 times what it's worth, because the dollar doesn't mean anything. So now what you going to do? You're going to start robbing. You're going to start looting. You're going to start protesting. You're going to start breaking in people's houses. You're going to start stealing everything you can steal for your family, because your dollar doesn't mean jack. And they're going to sit there and let you go through this for a period of time. Then they pop up and they start passing all these little bills. I'm like, okay, what is it we can do to kind of lower this and get it back down to normal, to where people can actually afford this? So that's when the bills start popping in. So then what they do, they bring it to the bank and they decentralize it and they put it onto a card, right? And they said, okay, so now you're not going to have paper money. All your money is going to be in the bank, and we're going to give you this card, and you have to use this card for everything that you gonna pay for.
A card.
But
why not put a chip in your hand? That would be easier, right? That's what they talked about in the Bible.
Okay. But here's the thing, though.
I didn't want to say
everybody used to using cards now.
Read the Bible.
You know what I mean? Like even me, I don't care. Like I get cash at work every day, but I don't carry cash a lot. You know what I mean? I'm always used to using this card. So to most people, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I just carry the card, no problem." Here's the thing, though. Once they put this new system in place, you actually don't control your money. They do. they can, and if you read up on it, they can actually tell you if this goes in the place, they can actually tell you what you can spend your money on and what you cannot spend your money on. Even though to you, this is my money. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Wrong.
You know, that's already
All
started.
of that. Exactly. All that's going to change.
Started.
And they was using, I was watching another show where they was using as a demonstration. They was like, you know how you go to Red Lobster and you get a gift card. You give somebody a gift card for their birthday or whatever. Well, that gift card has an expiration date on it.
Mm-hmm.
These cards have an expiration date on them as well, dealing with your money actually in the account, which means you're only going to be allotted to put so much money in there. And if it's not used within a certain amount of time, they take it.
Oh, yeah. Already happened.
You know what I mean? Right.
Think about it this way.
But if you think about it now, that's exactly what they're doing now, because if you go to the bank and deposit your money, the bank doesn't have this ton of money sitting in that vault. Right. They take your money and they give it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why when you go in there and say, well, hey, I need $5,000-$6,000 in cash, they got to go talk to the manager. They got to sit there and try to figure out how they're going to do it, because they don't carry a huge currency. Right. They don't carry that much in there.
Man, I went a number of years ago. I won't put all my business out there, but a number of years ago, I went to withdraw. I forget, it was over $10,000. I went to withdraw that money. Next thing you know, my accounts, while I stood in the bank, my account got frozen. And then my other account got frozen. I was like, what in the hell? And it took months to get that unfucked. Why? Because I wanted some cash money. And they weren't interested in letting me have it. This actually happened. This was like 2015 that happened to me. I had 3 bank accounts that were frozen because I tried to get some of my own damn money. But the other thing, you ever I don't know if you're aware of this, but those what do they call those gift cards? The gift cards that people will give you from Walmart or Macy's or whatever, Dillard's. You get a gift card. For those folks that don't know, that gift card has an expiration date. It don't matter how much money you put on it. It could be $100, $200. It could be $20. If you don't use that money with that institution within a certain period of time, that money goes back to the institution because it's not really real money. And then if you get $100 gift card, it's not actually $100, because you throw in taxes and fees. So it's already less than what you thought it was in the first place, because either the person that bought it is paying or the person that receives it is paying. And they have a very complicated algorithm that says when you buy a thing, they track everything. So anyway, don't get me started on it, because I'm going to go all down that rabbit hole. But anyway, so the reason we're talking about this on the Big Boneyard, a couple of reasons. One, because we fuck with y'all. We fuck with y'all. We want y'all to know what's going on. But bikers, what we do, we believe in freedom more so than the majority of citizens out there. When we say citizens, that means something different in the biker world. When we say citizens, we mean people that's not in the club, right? But we're talking about all Americans, right? Bikers, we appreciate, enjoy, and embrace freedom like no other, right? So if they fucking with your money, they are fucking with your freedom. Believe that. So the idea of jumping on your scoot and riding to California if you're on the East Coast, or riding to Florida if you're on the West Coast, that's a whole different proposition when your money don't mean shit. It's a whole different proposition to go down. Good credit is wonderful, but your good credit is based on your ability to pay. And if your money is not the same money, then your ability to pay for anything is affected. Because how many of y'all out there, somebody told them once upon a time, man, it's better to have good credit than to have money. A lot of folks think that. All of that, every life as you know is about to change if these things take place. So if you do not know who your senators are, your congressmen are, both on the state level and on the federal level, you better get with them. Get with them, because these folks are, to some degree, I won't say they're responsible, but they do have the ability to put in place protections and to not go along with and co-sign all of the examples that Archbishop just gave you. Those people have to be complicit for those things to happen. because one of the things that's also a possibility is once your money is destabilized, crime is gonna get rampant. And crime is already rampant, but I don't mean just the white collar crime where they get away with it. I'm talking just regular crime, like people breaking into folks' house, stealing stuff and killing folks and all this kind of stuff. That is a perfect segue for martial law. Martial law is where the government says when you can leave your house, when you can't. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about anybody walking on the street. You better have a card or permission to do it. That's what martial law looks like. And this is a very real thing. Meanwhile, you got white folks being preached to about hating them black folks, and you got black folks thinking all them Republicans are out to kill me and all like this kind of stuff. We better get all kinds of over ourselves and remember, and I hate to say it's a us and them thing, but it kind of is. It's
it is
us. Black, white, plaid. I don't give a damn what color you are. You need to get over yourself and stop with all the silly ass racism and all of that stupid shit. And remember, hey, how about being an American first?
Right.
I'm not saying I'm proud to be who I am, right? I know Archbishop is, I know everybody. We got folks that mess with us from a lot of different clubs and all kinds of different sections of society. There's every color of the damn rainbow. And that's cool, right? But none of that stuff is really going to matter when the government or more importantly, these other governments put their foot on our neck. So, and I know it sounds like we're all preaching everything, but this is stuff that folks need to know. I see Pastor Troy just chimed in. If you read Revelations, I don't know if you ever read a Bible, if maybe you did, maybe whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in the Bible or not, check out Revelations. Revelations actually discusses all of these sort of things. It talks about the destabilization of monetary currency and the centralization of banks and how it works. And they're talking about, Archbishop was talking about the card, right? And think about how many different cards everybody got already, right? And I teased a little bit about a card. Why not just put a chip in your hand? Well, if you read the Bible talks about this stuff. They called it a mark, but flash forward to 2024, we're really talking about a chip. But read your Bible. Read your Bible.
Mm-hmm. This kind of is going back to the stuff that we was talking about before when you said it's not. When you said that it wasn't a us them thing, and I say, yeah, actually it is. The reason why it's a us them situation, and I don't mean, I mean,
you don't mean black and white.
Them
You're talking about
against us, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because generally what happens, and everybody that's listening right now can vouch for this, as long as a house divided will never stand. So as long as you keep the house at each other's throats for whatever reason, whether it's racism or, cops killing kids out here on the street or whatever, everybody has something to latch on to the point that you got to fight each other. That's what happens. As long as you're doing this, you're never gonna be able to stand as one to go against what you already know is going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, like I was reading on something earlier, and they was talking about how Target was they were putting in like 700 of these machines in each of their locations or whatever. It was a total of 700 to where it was only going to accept card payments. It wasn't going to have the little slot where you can put the cash in. It was only going to do card payments. And they said that the reason why they were doing that is because it costs so much money for them to actually count dollar bills, and the bank charges so much money for depositing them and all that other stuff. So now they're just going through strictly card payment. Now, and I know that's bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's an excuse to be able to do this, and you're not going to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? So, when have you walked in the store and you give somebody a $20 bill and they look at you like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? It ain't like they checking it to see if it's fake. They saying they don't want the shit, period.
Right.
You know what I mean? But let's go now. A lot of people may actually have like, okay, like, why is this even going on? Let's talk about that.
Right.
Why is this even going on? Why is this even a topic to the point that that the dollar can destabilize? Why is that? Now, let's go back a second. Huh?
I said, wait, I said, why is it?
Now, let's go back. You got China, you got Russia. Now, both of them, you know, squeezing each other's ass right now.
Yeah.
Because both of them are mad at the U.S. Why? Because they both got sanctions from the U.S.
Yep.
Right? Russian ruble and the Chinese yen. Now, since they got these sanctions and since the war in Ukraine went on, the ruble and the yen went up 80%.
Yep.
Because they thought like, okay, we're gonna smack all these sanctions on them and they're gonna go broke. No, they're not gonna go broke as long as they still got oil and uranium and everything else that you need that these other countries is gonna buy.
Oh, yeah.
And they back their money with gold. So they've been buying all the gold that you could think of. They've been buying it to back up what they're doing. So now they go to Brazil, they go to South Africa, which China is being big in Africa, period, because Africa has more natural resources than any continent on the planet.
Yeah.
Only thing about it is, it's the same thing that we got going on here. The people in Africa won't unify in order to take over their own damn country.
Yep.
They let them come in and just do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's exactly what happens.
Well, that's been going on for Jesus.
That's been going on forever.
Almost 200 years.
Well, yeah, that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
But they still have not unified to the point that this is like okay, we have to take over our country. You know what I mean? We actually own everything. You know what I mean? If we could actually come together and actually do something. Okay, so then you got Brazil. Now they're trying to talk Saudi Arabia into, okay, because Saudi Arabia had it at first that you could only buy oil with the US dollar. Now they convincing them like, hey, won't you take some other form of payment?
Mm-hmm.
So once they agree to that, and it's probably going to end up happening.
Yeah.
That they agree to it, then you really got a problem. But what's their biggest issue with the US? Okay. You got Ukraine. Now, mind you, the UN and the United States is not supposed to be involved with this, but they are involved with this. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm not going to fight you, but I'm going to give you the weapons to fight them, though. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and throw rocks at them when they shooting missiles at your ass. You can't just throw rocks back. So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you something to, to help them out. But I'm not going to do it personally. I'm going to let you do it. Okay, so
it's called de facto war. Is waging war in a de facto fashion.
Right. So you got the Ukrainians over fighting the Russians, and they holding their own. You know what I mean? Which kind of exposing Russia a little bit because it's showing that other than the fact that you got nukes and a couple little hypersonic missiles or whatever, these guys over here ain't have none of that shit, and they getting at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you slowly dropping down their military. Yeah. Now you got China. The only reason why China wants Taiwan back so bad is because Taiwan is the manufacturer of every super chip known to man that goes in everything. Weapon defense systems, your cars, computers, everything. They're the ones that make it. So if you can control that, then you can control everything else that goes around it.
Everything on the fucking planet.
On a planet that runs by a computer, weapon system, garage door opener. They make a chip for it.
Let me share some other information with you. So for those of y'all, a lot of us bikers are military, or we come from military families, or we either served or military family. So this applies to all of us, in particular, Marine Corps, Navy especially. Right now, the United States Navy used to be a superpower, just like America used to be, and it hurts me to say this, America used to be number one superpower on the planet. U.S. Navy was the strongest Navy on the planet. Here's where we got going on right now. There's a place called Newport News. It's in Virginia, and they used to build, they had about 40 different shipbuilding companies there, and those shipbuilding companies made the aircraft carriers and frigates, tenders, you name it. They was cranking it out. We had the largest, most powerful Navy on the planet. problem is that over the past 40 to 60 years, the majority of those aircraft carriers and frigates and tenders and all these other, even the submarines, are in what they call mothballs. That means they've been decommissioned. They are no longer, they've been retired. Those ships are no longer, they're museums and stuff like this, but the actual vessels of war, we're producing at a much slower rate. And now we went from over 40 shipbuilding companies to about 7. And we have brothers that work at those shipyards. That was a game. If you could get in on at the shipyard, you was good. Now those jobs are few and far between because they're producing so much less ships. So we're down to less than 200 proper class warships in the entire U.S. Navy fleet. But guess who's making lots of ships with no problems? Because in the ships that we are, both aircrafts and naval fighting vessels, we're having problems building them. We spend millions and billions with a B on each single vessel, only to find out that you have to put that bad boy in mothballs too, because it was a flawed design, or there was a problem, or there was incorrect materials used, or all these kind of problems that cost us billions and billions of dollars. And yes, taxpayers pay for that. China don't have these problems. Why? Because first of all, their labor is super cheap. They don't have to worry about a shipyard. It's a communistic country, so they've got plenty of labor and cheap labor at that. On top of that, they steal our designs and they perfect our designs. And the same way they do with, ladies, if you ever been to New York and you bought you a Gucci purse that wasn't really a Gucci purse, but it looks just like a Gucci purse. Imagine that same exact thing when you're talking about like war crafts, meaning, ships and aircraft and things of that sort. They're doing it, and they're doing it on a massive scale. Right now, we have less than 200 functional vessels of war. China has almost 500. Right now, it is 2023, and they have more than doubled their production. And by the way, the vessels that they have are not 50 years old. They're 10 years old. Some of them are 5 years old, and they are modern as all get out.
Well,
so
you got to think.
Next step.
Let me add something to that.
Yeah,
because I'm a Navy man, so
yes,
I'm gonna add something to that. I'm gonna fact check you just a hair.
No, okay. Go right ahead.
Okay, the U.S. Navy actually has 485 ships.
Right, and
they have 85 ships that are being built. Okay, now
that's generally the problem, though.
Now, some of the ships that they declassified, that they put into the shipyard or whatever, some of them they do use as museums, like the Arizona and the Saratoga and stuff like that. But then some they actually decommission them, but they retro them and they let them sit there in case they actually need them again, that they can go back and actually use them again if necessary. Kind of like the Nimitz, stuff like that. You can actually go back.
It's necessary.
So people, right. So like people go and they can, you can go and tour it and all that. But if they actually need to use it, they can use it.
Okay.
Now, as of right now, yes, China does have more ships. And they do have some technical, the thing is China has 2 aircraft carriers, 2, and they diesel power carriers, where the U.S. they just pulled back all their diesel carriers to retrofit them. Now they have a new class that's nuclear, so they never have to be fueled. They can just move. Right. They can just move around forever. Because it's going to constantly run.
China has nuclear powered vessels as well. The problem is that they're outpacing us. I listened to Admiral. I forget his name. He was on 60 Minutes last week. He was on 60 Minutes last week, and while he would not, he said it's the China buildup is problematic, and he's an admiral, so he's not allowed to go into great detail on that, and he has to put some positive spin on it. But the thing is that where China is right now was unfathomable 15 years ago. And our intelligence is telling us, man, we got a problem. They're not building up just for funds and just for shits and giggles. They're building up because they're getting ready. They get Taiwan. They have this Navy that can rival, to some degree, that can rival the U.S. Navy. And now we have certain things that China right now doesn't have. Logistically speaking, geographically speaking, we've got international support through NATO and some of these other things. And man, y'all might be wondering, why the hell is a biker show talking about this stuff? Because we be smart and stuff too. We be knowing stuff. But the truth of the matter is that we cannot sleep on China, because China is doing a multi-pronged attack. And and I get it. China, that's Trump's boy. Putin, that's Trump's boy. But look, be an American for a second. It's not about Trump. It's not about Biden. It's about being an American and requiring more of our leaders and to not co-sign every crazy ass thing that they do. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you're an American first, then you care about America. That means your neighbor that lives over there. That means your brother, your sister, your aunt, your nephew, your niece, all that, your wife, your girlfriend, your freaking, your grandmother, all of that. Right. Care about those folks first and stop playing political, what do they call them, people in Waco? Stop acting like cult members and start acting like Americans again. Right. Bikers, we're supposed to be about freedom. Anyway, I'm sorry, man.
Think about it.
I went down.
I think about it. Last week, what was it? No, this week. They had on the news that the president of Taiwan was in the United States.
Yeah.
And China made this big ass deal about like, oh, why you got him over there? You're like, who the fuck you tell me who I can have over here? You know what I mean? Mind your motherfucking business. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what. But they don't tell them that though. You know what I mean? Like people try to be like all politically correct and all that. Why don't they just pick up the phone and say, you know what? Mind your goddamn business, bro. Hang up. You know what I mean?
Oh, Carolyn said she saw that interview.
We're gonna do this. It is what it is. Then hang up. You know what I mean? Do the shit. You know what I mean? Do the shit. Yep. And I'm gonna pounce on your ass. That's all you're gonna, you know what I mean? Let's just like cut all the political bullshit. Brass tacks. Fuck with me and find out. That's what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? And hang up the fucking phone. That's all you gotta do. You know what I mean? But
I gotta say, Big Joe, respectfully, Big Joe, you got it twisted. Even Trump was not Trump or Biden, neither one of them. China, we don't got it like that with China. I promise you.
They don't give a shit.
Biden
they don't give a damn about neither one of them.
Biden is not China's boy, and neither is Trump. He tried to be cool with him, but it didn't work. You got to watch something other than Fox, brother. I'm telling you. Real talk.
Okay, now here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think gonna happen? Now, let's say that Russia and China do try to pull off some shit to where it does actually start affecting the dollar to the point that you got the politicians like, oh shit, they really trying to get at us. What do you think is ready to happen next? What's gonna happen?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you in my humble opinion, and I have a tendency to be kind of correct about these things. But so what's going to happen is this: if China and Russia, let's just say it's only China and Russia. If China and Russia pull this off, it will create some destabilization in the U.S. dollar. What's going to happen? What will need to happen, or I won't say what need to happen. What will more than likely happen is initially there will be the initial diplomatic efforts, conversation, politics. There's a saying that says war is politics by other means, which means if they can't work this out through political channels, stand by. If they cannot work this out through political channels, then the next step is that other political channel. War is politics by other means. Means when we stop talking, we're going to seek a resolution, but that resolution is going to be in blood. So, and that's why China's doing their buildup. Russia is already shown massive aggression with the Ukraine. This is basically a massive training mission. Do they want Ukraine? Absolutely, they want Ukraine. I'm not saying they don't, but this is now if you've got some battle-hardened Russians who've been fighting for a year and Russian generals who are war-minded, they're already finely tuned, so to speak. They've been studying the U.S. for decades, and I promise you, right about now, they're studying twice as hard because somebody's getting ready to get their PhD. If the destabilization of the U.S. dollar happens, more than likely it could very well end. And people think, oh man, that's not going to happen. Don't be ignorant, folks. World War III could happen. And like most things, it's going to happen about money. It's going to happen. And by the way, war is good for business. Every time, think about it. First World War, Second World War, Korea, Vietnam, even the damn Revolutionary War. It's good for the United States. We fare well during wartime. We make money during wartime. We rally support during wartime. We make détentes, peace agreements with other countries who somebody needs to work something out with America. Guess what? Wartime is the time to do it, because guess what? We need something from them. We beat the hell out of Japan. We beat the hell out of Japan to the point where Japan will not wage war against anybody. But guess what they are doing? They're making lots of money nowadays. We basically rebuilt that country for the purpose of being a financial powerhouse that they are, that benefits America. We have bases. I mean, half the folks, in the Navy and Marine Corps spent time in Japan. So war is good for America. So this destabilization of the U.S. dollar, even though the motivation of those countries might be one thing, the folks over here, there's a faction of the U.S. government who is hoping that this happens. So they're hoping for war. Because why? Because war brings the country together. Think about it this way. The time, and most people's recent memories, the time in America through most people's lives who are of a certain age, if you're older than 25 and younger than dead, right? Then you remember where you were on September the 11th, right? And if you remember after September the 11th, I don't care whether you was from Mississippi or New York City, whether you was white, black, or plaid, everybody was an American. You check that bullshit at the door. Everybody got behind the president and like, whatever you need, Mr. President, I'm with you. Everybody, Democrat, Republican, Green Party, everybody. And it was a short-lived time, but everybody was an American for a little bit. And what'd we do? Whatever the hell the president wanted to do, we was with it. And then later on, we found out there was some fuck shit going on and got right back to business as usual. But during wartime, when we're actively at war, Americans get on the same page. Because Americans, one, we're all patriotic, we're Americans, we're gonna get down like that. But Americans are about their money. Americans have always been about their money. So let somebody start playing with the money and watch what happens. And I'm not saying that your scenarios earlier were absolutely correct, but it's going to be pushback. It's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of chaos.
Oh, yeah.
But I always bet on America, though. I bet on America. I bet on Americans.
I mean, it's going to end up being a fight either way it goes. It's going to end up being a fight. I mean, especially when it gets to the point where, like I said, just right now, just being that you got China and Russia just doing it, they're like, all right, I mean, yeah, that may hit a little bit. Ain't gonna be too much though. But when you start having, like you got Brazil, like I ain't worried about them either. South Africa, yeah, I ain't worried about them either. But when you start getting some more that's coming in there to where you like, oh, hold on now, y'all doing too much, because they already putting out now all these companies, because you remember the tax bracket was so high here, a lot of U.S. companies was going overseas because it was cheaper. So now they popped up and was like, okay, we're gonna give you all these tax breaks, bring them back. You know what I mean? Now you got these companies now that's shutting down the factories over there, and they coming back home because the U.S. offering them these major tax breaks for them to come back.
Yeah, you remember in the 1980s, America put sanctions on South Africa because of apartheid, and America decided to divest our interests in South Africa because of the racist, which is so funny that America did that. We divested our financial interests in South Africa because of the apartheid policies, their racist apartheid policies. Which the funny thing is that America is one of the most racist countries that there is, and yet we're going to sanction somebody else for doing the same thing. That's when Nelson Mandela was doing his thing and blah blah blah. But here's the thing about a lot of this: a lot of the reasons why some of these countries, and I'm not talking about China and Russia, but a number of these other countries where there's great numbers of black folks, America, man, we've been giving them our ass to kiss for a while. Trump literally called them shithole countries. Talked real bad about these folks, and his policies were nothing other than supporting his ideology that they're shithole countries. So now, why do you think it shouldn't be a big surprise that these folks are like, hey, you know what, fuck America? I'm saying what these people say, that's never my opinion. But the thing is, though, is that if you look at countries like Kenya and some of these African countries, think of it this way. I'll use Haiti as an example. There used to be a policy, and still is in practice, called wet foot, dry foot. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So that means like this. If you were trying to get to America and you were coming from Cuba, if you made it to land and you made it to Florida somewhere, hey, safe, like in baseball, safe. You're good. They're going to give you resources. They're going to try to get you set up and all like that. There was even a Mariel boat lift. Those folks called Marielitos, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you made it to United States soil from Cuba, you were good. That was the policy forever and ever and ever and ever, right? Let your black ass come from Haiti. We don't give a damn if you was living in Iowa. If America found out you was from Haiti, get back on the boat, little buddy. Get your ass back. You're going the fuck back. Why? Because Haiti has a bunch of black folks. But just on the other side of Hispaniola, where they're Dominican, we're going to work that out. We're going to work that out because they're a bunch of pecan tan looking like motherfuckers over there who embrace that nope, we ain't black. We're Dominican. And I'm not attacking no individual, but if you're from the Dominican Republic or if you're from Haiti, jump in here and say your piece because I'm telling the truth. So you talk about Cuba. When we think about Cuba, there's Cubans that are blacker than this hat, but that's not who you think about when you think about Cuba, and that's not the American ideology of who Cubans are. Because Cubans in Cuba, very racist. In Cuba, if you're a black Cuban, your life is not the same as a white Cuban. America digs that. So why? Why are we going to let these Cubans come in here? They're already indoctrinated with that racist bullshit. So now let's talk about Russia. Hey, Russia, a bunch of white guys, just like the Ukraine. So if we got to pick a team, let's pick a team of the team of white guys over there in the Baltics or over there in that part of the world. Well, these guys are not Soviet these guys are not communists. So let's back them up. Our whole effort to not so much to destabilize, but our whole effort to fight Russia and communism, there's always a way to do it. Remember, we supported Afghanistan. This is where we supported the Mujahideen in their fight against Russia, and everything was fine. Once we thought everything was over, hey, Mujahideen, hey, Afghanistan people, we're out, even though we promised to stay. So now those folks are mad. And guess what? Osama bin Laden, he's pissed off, which is funny because he's a Saudi. Like, what the hell did he have to do with that? Well, he went over there and he worked with the Mujahideen. So when America left him high and dry, he had a chip on his shoulder. Flash forward, September 11th, right? So all of these things, these are not conspiracy theories. These are facts. Anybody in the military already knows this stuff. But if you spend any time in the military, rather. But I say all that to say this is that what we have to do as Americans is we got to get on the same page. And bikers, we're talking to bikers because bikers, in a lot of our opinions, we're the true American, the truest of Americans, I should say. We believe in freedom. We believe in America. And so if we don't get this right, if we don't figure this out, then how the hell is Sally Sue down the road who's on a steady diet of Fox News? You know what I mean? Or what about Billy Bob down there who's watching MSNBC like it's the damn Bible? We got to get regular folks to figure this shit out. Anyway,
You know,
man, keep me out
I'll
of the
tell you
rabbit
something
hole.
else. You know what? I'll tell you something else to keep it simple. And this is facts all the way around. One word: accountability.
Ooh, facts.
How is it that you you sit up here and you want us to be held accountable for our actions and what we do in our regular life. But
Right
the accountability stops once you get to a certain level. And the reason why I said, okay, now let's go back. Now, like I said, I don't give a damn about Biden, Trump. I don't give a damn about them. You know what I mean? I do my own research and I pick who I feel is better for the job. I don't give a damn whether you're the Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Independent. Shit, you could be Pookie's little cousin. I don't give a damn. If you're gonna do the job, do your job. But how is it that you get 36? You get 36 fucking indictments, and you still walking the fucking street? When most people get one and lock their ass up until and their ass sitting in jail until they decide whether they're gonna have a hearing on you or not.
Facts.
This pastor got 36 damn indictments, and he walk in, ain't changed no clothes, ain't done shit. Took his jacket off, took his little picture, gave him a little finger, and walked right the fuck out, got on the plane, and took back out to Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing.
Hey, I've been to jail before. I don't recall it being like that.
Hell no. Ain't nobody never called me and said, hey, why don't you just come in here and just give us your fingerprints and you can go on back home? Hell no.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You already know that's a setup. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Accountability. What we as a people have to do is make them be accountable the same way that they would expect you to be accountable. You know what I mean? That will change the game on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But like I said, you got so much division and so much other shit that's going on right here. Ain't nobody really talking about that. And then when you do talk about it, then they like, oh, he just a rebel rouser. He just trying to start trouble. He just, you know what I mean? This person here, he just trying to keep some shit going. But no, all of them that did that, they all had a point behind it. You know what I mean? And it was all centralized on the one thing: accountability. You know what I mean? These people, you vote these people in office because you want them to come in there and do what's right for your district, for your state.
Right.
You vote a president that's going to go in there and do his job to protect all Americans. Okay. But when they mess up or they run around doing all kind of little old sneaky stuff and they getting called, why is it that you just having, okay, well, we're gonna have a hearing and we're gonna talk about it, but ain't nothing done. You know what I mean? But if you did it, your ass sitting in jail.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Let me give you a thing. Do you remember a few years ago, Barack Obama was president and he wore a tan suit to the Oval Office, and them folks like to lost they damn minds. He was disrespectful to the presidency and this, that, and the other thing, and da-da-da-da-da. While Trump is fucking porn stars, that was cool. But how dare you wear a tan suit to the White House? Michelle Obama wore a sleeveless dress, and they wanted to say she was a this and she wasn't really a woman and all of this kind of stuff. And how dare she, that she's brought disgrace upon the office of the second lady or the first lady and all this kind of stuff. And Melania showed her whole entire pussy on the internet. You can Google it right now, but that's okay. Man, we need to stop playing politics and the hypocrisy of it. If you're one of those folks that embrace the hypocrisy from either side, stop. How about being American first? Be an American, you know? And by the way, use your common sense again. If you're saying that you're the party of family values, then be that for real, for real. If you're the party of law and order, be that. If you're the party of freedom and you know, whatever party you say you are of, then do that and stop playing, you know, well, that guy's in my party, so I guess he's okay, even though he's a mass murderer or even though he's a pedophile or whatever. Man, stop co-signing and looking the other way on the bullshit. Because as Americans, man, we got to quit doing that, because if not, we're all going to be fucked. Like, start being Americans again. Oh,
call it as it is. A red flag is a red flag. It ain't pink.
Right.
It ain't pink. It's red.
It's not blue. It's not blue and it's not red.
Like, oh well,
it is
you know,
red. You know,
it's a red flag, but you know, it ain't as bad as this. So let's just make it. That's a pink flag. That's a pink flag. And fuck that. You know what I mean? hold these fuckers accountable for the same thing that they're gonna hold you accountable for.
Exactly.
Do you think that you gonna go home if this shit happened to you? Hell no, you ain't going home. And that goes for anybody, white, black, Spanish, whatever. Yep. You do something, your ass going to jail. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. You ain't about to get the visitation plan where they gonna say, oh, we'll just come on in and we're gonna do this real quick and get you back on your way and get you back home, and then we'll let you know when we gonna. Hell no, your ass was
trying to look. What you call it? Bill Clinton. They was trying to hang him behind a blowjob. Come on now. Now I tell you what, the folks that came after him, I promise you, did way worse. And the only thing Bill Clinton did was get caught. Because he got hit in the White House. Shame on you, Bill Clinton. But for this, come on now. So Bill Clinton gets hung out to dry for a blowjob in the White House. And
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And this go for you and anybody else watching. all the men, women too. When have you not been somewhere and got some head where you wasn't supposed to? How many times have you done it and got away with it?
I think that's the best type of
How
head,
many times your ass was pulled over behind a motherfucking speedway, down park, rest area, whatever, wherever you could get it in at that you knew your ass wasn't gonna get caught. And if you did get caught, see, that was the whole excitement about the shit, because there's a possibility that your ass could get caught. So you did the shit. Okay. So he pulled it off. Okay, so what? He pulled it off. He did the same shit that anybody else would have done. You know what I mean? Hell, if I'm sitting there, I'm gonna get it. I mean, hell, she right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
No fault against Hillary, but you know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean? I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, he got it. You know what I mean? But how many people hasn't though?
Right.
How many people sitting right here? How many people sitting right here listening to this show right now can say that you ain't been nowhere and then did some nasty shit somewhere that you ain't supposed to be? Because if you on this show right now and I'm watching you, you on here saying that you ain't done it, you a lying motherfucker.
Show of hands, damn it. Show of hands. Look, Ghost Eagle, I know you done did it. Carol Ann, all right, I'm just saying.
I mean, so how you gonna hold it? Okay, so you say, oh my God, he did that.
I know more did
too.
I see more. I know he did it too.
Okay, am I gonna go to jail for it? Are you gonna impeach me? Are you gonna kick me from my job because I done got caught?
Right.
No. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bro's been getting caught doing shit since the beginning of time. They've been getting caught.
Look,
you know what I mean?
What you call it? What's old boy's name? JFK. JFK. Oh wait, JFK and his brother Bobby was banging Marilyn Monroe, and it wasn't nobody's business because there was no Facebook back then. There was no, folks used to mind their business. Well, that's the president. Maybe him and the attorney general need to bang Marilyn Monroe. And they kept it moving.
Think about it. That one that Trump just got caught with. Okay.
Yeah.
If I had Trump's bread, you think I wouldn't have pulled that off? Damn right I'd have pulled it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn right I'd have pulled it off. Now I wouldn't have did the other
He's
shit.
Millionaire,
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have did the other shit, but you know what I mean? Hell, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna toss you no $100 because $100 is too much. $40
is 100,000.
Well, that's what I'm just saying 100. I'm just saying 100. I ain't about getting $100,000 for no used
The number is
ass.
$40 on the street. Is $40.
It's $40.
I heard
$40.
Allegedly.
You used. You know what I mean? It ain't like you were just like somebody that they done just bought in and she just is special. You used $40. You know what I mean? See now if she'd have counted her and said, well, he just gave me $40, everybody would have laughed about, bitch, get on somewhere. Ain't nobody worried about you, man. Go take your ass on somewhere.
Right.
But the fact that he done gave 100,000, they were like, damn, bro.
Right.
You doing 100,000?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You should have stuck with pocket change. With no receipt is necessary.
Hey, bro, all you had to do was get you 21s and go to Daydreams, bro. She right down there. You don't gotta, you know what I mean? You don't gotta do that.
All right. Look, I'll tell you what, on that note, we clearly went down that damn rabbit hole.
I'm saying the $40 holler, bro, is right there. The $40 holler, it's right there. It's been like that for the past couple years. $40. That's what it is. Trump, you could have saved. You could have saved some money. $99,960 if you just gave her $40 and went right down there to Daydreams and dealt with her when she's there on Friday. That's all you had to do.
Look, it's not like he ain't in Florida. He's in Florida. He could have pulled it off, right? Yo, I'll tell y'all what. So I'll throw my last little 2 cents on this one. And look, Archbishop, real talk, that won't nothing but the gospel. So I'm just saying, look, so what does this have to do with bikers? Because we live a lifestyle where we need our money. Most folks do. But for us to do what we do, we need our money not to be destabilized. We need our dollars not to be fucked with. And but we also have the ability to influence our government. If we make some decisions, call the right folks, and look, get at us if you need to know who your folks are in your town that you need to talk to about these things, and let everybody, your government officials, know that you're concerned with it. There's a way to do that, and so y'all don't be shy. Get at us. But look, we've been at this for about an hour and 12 minutes. So we ain't gonna keep y'all forever, but we thank y'all for being here with us tonight. And remember, bikers, get on your bike, ride your shit, and stay plugged into your communities, but ride your shit. Try to stay out of the rain like we did, if you could do that. But also when y'all get off this, don't be shy. Get on the chat, get on the Big Boneyard chat or the Facebook page, share your opinions about what we was talking about tonight. And also any other stuff, whatever's on your mind, we want to hear about it, because we're probably going to talk about it in about 7 days. Archbishop, what say you, sir?
Nah, I'm good, man. We had to talk about the serious stuff. Then I had to go to the comic relief at the end.
Oh yeah.
So but please know that even though I'm laughing, I meant every damn thing I said. I mean every word of it.
Yo, look, facts. $40 is quite a savings.
I'm telling you,
you can save some money that way.
He should have called me. I could have saved him a whole bunch. I could have just been like, you know what, just give me that. Let me hold that. I'm gonna take you where you need to go.
Right.
Put this $40 in your pocket. I'm gonna hold on to the rest of it for you. When you need it, come holler at me.
Presidential service.
Exactly. I'm gonna hold on to this for you. Like, don't worry about it, dog. I got you. Come with me. I'm gonna show you how to do this.
Hey, Ghost Eagle says your mind is still on the $40.
Damn right. Matter of fact, if he's watching, if somebody let him watch it, call me. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna fix you right up, bro. $40, bro. I ain't gonna tell nobody shit. You know what I mean? But that $99,960, I'm gonna hold on to that myself. I'm gonna give you $40 and show you that you could have got everything you needed.
Right on.
Damn dollars.
That's educational.
I'm done with it though. I'm done with it.
Hey, well, I'll tell y'all what. We want to say thank y'all for taking time out of your evening to join us. Be sure to, if you haven't done it already, take a minute. Hit the like button. It takes like 3 seconds. Hit the like button on this thing that you're watching. Hit the like button. Make sure you, if you didn't subscribe, do that. But definitely share this with some other folks. Because this is one of those topics that other folks need to hear about. I don't give a damn whether they ride a motorcycle or not. Let folks know that this stuff is going on. Do your neighbors a favor. Do your friends and family a favor. Let them know what the hell is going on. Some folks don't know. So hey, well, damn, I'm all right. Fuck, I gotta run for president now. Weldon just said so. Weldon, thank you. We're gonna run for president. We got some nominations here, but no, for real though, y'all share this. Let folks know about it, and we're gonna be back. And I'm not sure about how long should we wait to come back. AB, what do you think?
Yeah, it'll be 7 days.
About 7 days,
and we won't be late next time. We won't be late next time. We don't got shit to do next week. So we won't be late this time.
Facts. Okay, check it out. We're going to be on time-ish next week. Hey, look, for real though, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Love and respect to all of y'all. And, but yeah, check us out. We're going to be back in 7 days. Peace out. Thank y'all for joining us.
Welcome to the Big Boneyard.
decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.